Week 8 NFL Power Rankings. Let's go. Started off with number 32, Jacksonville Jaguars. So when you think about what a team should look like, fresh off of a bye week, you haven't been on the field in 2 weeks. You should be rested. You should be disciplined. You should be ready to fucking play. Basically the complete opposite of what you saw from the Jaguars this weekend. Against a very sus Seattle defense, the Jags offense was just straight awful. Trevor Lawrence played easily his worst game in the NFL. James Robinson left early with an injury, and Urban Meyer continues to prove to be a ridiculously bad decision. How you gonna come off of a bye week and have 12 fucking penalties? This team is terrible. But the way the NFL's been going this year, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out this week and beat the Bills. Number 31, Houston Texans. The Texans are bad. There's really not much more I can say. After 3 quarters against the Rams, they had less than 100 total yards. Think about that. Luckily, the Rams said, mercy rule, took out Matthew Stafford, and allowed the Texans to score 22 points in the fourth quarter, and that's the only reason why I have them above the Jaguars. But hey, good news. Tyrod's coming. Oh, jeez. Number 30, Detroit Lions. Oh, boy. Every week, I do my best to try to defend this Lions squad. I tend to find the smallest bright spots wherever I can and try and spin it to where the Lions are not that bad. I can't do that anymore. This week they're playing a very erratic Eagles team, and I'm unable to find any kind of positivity from the Lions. The Lions look like a team that have not won a game yet this year. Number 29, Miami Dolphins. Okay, so that Miami defense that everyone was talking about during the offseason, they finally showed up this week against a very good, very rested Buffalo Bills offense. Such a shame that they have a quarterback named Tua. During this game, the commentators had the balls to refer to Tua as being red hot. What? Red hot? This dude is not good. At one point in this game, Tua hit his tight end Gesicki. It was like an 8-yard pass that Gesicki took off running with, and it was a 40-yard gain. And they proceeded to say that it was the longest pass play for Tua all season. Bro, I'm tired of hearing about how this dude is good. His completion percentage. Of course your percentage is good when you're throwing the ball 6 yards. I could do that. Terrible decisions, turnovers. This Dolphins team is just, it's not it. Number 28, New Jersey Jets. Tell me again, Jets fans, how Zach Wilson is the savior of your franchise. I'll wait. The fuck out of here. Mike White threw for 400 yards. This was the first time a Jets quarterback has done that since Vinny Testaverde. Think about how long that is. He was 37 of 45 on the day. The fucking Jets knocked me out of my survivor pool because I picked the Bengals to beat the Jets. Why wouldn't you? But the Jets looked good. Rookie running back Michael Carter looked good. Fucking Jets, man. Number 27, Washington. 2 blocked field goals after having 1 blocked last week. This is becoming a real problem for Washington. This game against Denver was primed for Washington to steal a win. But they proved to be the same old football team, making errors and failing to capitalize on the Denver mistakes. Like, Denver's not good. This was a game you should have won, Washington. Congratulations, you have now crossed over into being completely fucking useless. Number 26, Denver Broncos. Yo, the Broncos defense finally showed up. Granted, it was against a completely awful Washington team, but they made an appearance. I will say that the Broncos did everything in their power to try and give this game away. But Washington didn't want it. It was like hot potato. You take the win. I don't want it. I think that this team is terrible. And I want to go on record and say that they are only going to win 1 more game the entire year. But then the news broke that they traded away Von Miller, and that 1 win that I was giving them against the Detroit Lions, I'd like to take away now. I think the Lions are going to get their first win when they play Denver. Awful. Number 25, New Jersey Giants. Monday Night Football in Arrowhead. The spread on this game was over 10. Yet the Giants had this game in hand until very late. The Giants had moments in this game where they looked like they were a legit team. They forced a couple turnovers, took advantage of penalties, but somehow found a way to lose this game. I was so excited for the Giants to win this game because I've been one of their biggest supporters all year long. But hey, shit happens. Number 24, Chicago Bears. Justin Fields plays his best game of the season, and I am shocked to my core that head coach Charles Nagy was not on the sidelines for it. You got to read between the lines on that one. Despite Fields' great play, the Bears lose to the Niners and drop to 3-5. I don't have much to say about the Bears because the team is blah. Number 23, Philadelphia Eagles. I talked last week about how the Eagles' defensive line needed to get their shit together. Obviously, they heard me. I didn't realize how influential I really was. Actually, no, I do know that. That defensive line harassed Jared Goff all game long and had 6 sacks. They also held the Lions to 57 yards rushing. Jalen Hurts played pretty well, extending drives with his feet. And with Miles Sanders on the IR, and me picking up his backup, Kenneth Gainwell, it was the Eagles running back committee of Boston Scott and Justin Howard that dominated the game with 4 fucking touchdowns. Thank you. Number 22, Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold is terrible. Terrible! 13 of 24 for 129 yards before leaving the game with a concussion. Against a questionable Falcons defense. Luckily, the Panthers defense showed up and was the star of the fucking show. Granted, they only had Kyle Pitts to contend with, as Calvin Ridley missed yet another game. But it's worth mentioning that the Carolina Panthers receivers continue to drop passes. I have no idea what's going on down there, but it's fucking comical. Number 21, the Atlanta Falcons. I was just getting ready to admit that the Atlanta Falcons had risen from the ashes to become relevant again. And then they proceeded to shit the bed against a bad Panthers team at home. Like what in the actual? Calvin Ridley again did not play because of personal reasons, and later announced that he's going to be stepping away from the game for a little bit to take care of his mental well-being. Good for him. More players need to do that if they feel that it's necessary. I applaud Calvin Ridley. But taking away arguably one of their best offensive players is going to hurt Atlanta. Number 20, San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy G must be hearing the whispers, or are they shouts, about Trey Lance taking his job. Because Jimmy G came out and balled the fuck out. He threw for over 300 yards and had 2 rushing touchdowns. Deebo Samuel continues to be his favorite target, as he had 171 receiving yards. But the most impressive thing about the win over the Bears is the fact that they didn't punt the ball not once. Well done. Number 19, Minnesota Vikings. Oh, come on. Sunday Night Football at home against Cooper fucking Rush. That's an easy win. Then they come out and take the opening drive to the fucking house to take a 7-0 lead. Game over. Yeah, okay. As it turns out, that was the only time they saw the fucking end zone. The Vikings ended the game 1 of 13. 1 of 13 on third down. Kirk Cousins looked like the player that all his critics make him out to be. Looked just like that motherfucker. This is an embarrassing loss for the Vikings. Let's go Wild. Let's go Timberwolves. Number 18, Indianapolis Colts. Dear Carson Wentz, are you fucking kidding me? Sincerely, this fucking guy. Carson Wentz has been playing okay the last couple of weeks. And I was all set to eat my words because I hate this dude and think he's atrocious. But then the real Carson shows up and all my opinions are justified. On a day where the Colts were able to stop an unstoppable Derrick Henry, Wentz absolutely wastes that defensive effort by making one decision worse than the fucking last. It's one thing to just throw interceptions. It's a complete other to make the decisions that you're making, bro. Fuck, I hate this dude. Complete waste of a game for the Colts. Number 17, Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith for MVP. Smith completed his first 14 pass attempts, and he never looked back. The Seattle defense had flashbacks of the Legion of Boom days. They were getting in Trevor Lawrence's ass all day long, up and down the fucking field. The Seahawks avoid losing 3 games in a row and stay in the mix with a much-needed victory. Number 16, Cleveland Browns. Nick Chubb is back. Baker Mayfield's back. Not enough. Jarvis Landry said that this was a must-win game for the Browns. Then proceeded to drop the shit out of some passes and fumble balls away. You remember during preseason all that fucking hype around the Browns? Well, the Browns continue to slide, and that hype continues to disappear. Number 15, Kansas City Chiefs. Add 2 more turnovers to the Chiefs' tally, and 1 more game where they look like poop. The Chiefs played on Monday night and had 12 penalties for over 100 yards. Not a good look. But somehow, the Chiefs find a way and pull a W out of their fucking asses against the Giants and pull up to 500. Okay, I see you. Number 14, Pittsburgh Steelers. If a win in the NFL could be awarded some style points, this would be one of them. I'm not saying it was pretty. It was just a well-rounded, gritty, grinded win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They get a big division win against one of their rivals where their offensive line looked like a strength and not a liability. Their defense continues to be the Steelers' defense. They hold the Browns, who got Nick Chubb and Baker Mayfield back, to only 10 points. The Steelers move above 500 and stay alive in the AFC. Number 13, Los Angeles Chargers. Has the league figured out Justin Herbert? Was there a lot of premature hype placed on him and the Chargers? Because they sure as shit did not look good against Mac Jones and the Patriots. They are looking nothing like this team that's supposed to be going to the Super Bowl. Justin Herbert seems to be taking some steps back. Number 12, New England Patriots. The Patriots finally get a win against a team who is not the Jets or a team with a rookie quarterback. This was actually a very impressive win for the Patriots. They went into Los Angeles and beat the Chargers, and this game did not need to be as close as the final score suggests. The Patriots had some awful penalties that negated some really big plays, even a touchdown by Damian Harris. The Patriots are far from flashy, but it kind of reminds me of the early 2000 Patriots. This is the way they used to win, and I don't want to think about that. Number 11, Cincinnati Bengals. So the Bengals showed everybody why they are hesitant to say that they are one of the elite teams in the AFC. After a mammoth win over the Ravens last week, the Bengals followed that up with a devastating loss to the New Jersey Jets. Seriously, Mike White and the Jets. I mean, Joe Burrow looked okay, but the Jets shut their run game down. Such a shame for the Bengals. Number 10, Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders were on a bye week. I had them at 11 last week, moved them up to 10 due to circumstances and teams losing. Number 9, Baltimore Ravens. Ravens were also on a bye week. I had them at 9 last week. I don't have them moving. Number 8, New Orleans Saints. Sean Payton sure the fuck knows how to beat Tom Brady, huh? He's 4-2 against them. And he did it with Trevor Siemian, no less. After Winston went out with a knee injury, Siemian came in and beat the fucking Super Bowl champs. The Saints at 5-2 have been like the forgotten team in the NFC. This was a big win for them. People are now starting to talk about them. But there's a couple questions. 1, who's playing quarterback? And 2, is this just another big win for a team and they're going to shit the bed soon? Like when the Ravens beat the Chargers but then lost to the Bengals? And then the Bengals beat the Ravens and then lost to the Jets? Number 7, Buffalo Bills. Bills played the Dolphins and they looked the worst they have looked all season long. And that's really bad considering they were on a bye week. So they had 2 weeks to prepare for the Dolphins and came out looking like shit. They got the victory, but they didn't look good. And that's all I'm going to say about the Buffalo Bills because in here, I have them in timeout. Number 6, Arizona Cardinals. Week after week, experts talk about how the Cardinals are the best team in football and Kyler Murray is the MVP. Week after week, I watch the Cardinals play. I watch Kyler Murray throw fucking balls up in the air. It looks like his head is turned around or his eyes are closed. And his receivers come down with like miracle fucking catches. How this pass wasn't intercepted, I have no fucking clue. And he comes out smelling like roses. How many interceptions does he have? He's not an MVP. I wouldn't even have him as a top 5 quarterback right now. People keep on forgetting about the bad teams that they barely beat. I think the Cardinals are a good team. But I think there's at least 4 teams in the NFC better than them. They lose to the Packers to move to 7-1, their first loss on the year. But honestly, if you've watched them enough, you know that they should be 5-3. Number 5, Tennessee Titans. I can hear it now. If Derrick Henry didn't get hurt, we would have won the Super Bowl. No question. Quite easy to say something like that. Titans are playing really good football. They beat the Bills, they beat the Chiefs, and then they beat their division rival Colts in overtime. They're on a fucking roll. But it's going to be interesting to see what Adrian Peterson can do. And if the Titans become a one-dimension team and it's pass happy, Ryan Tannehill is not it. I now think that the AFC South is going to have a 10-7 or maybe even a 9-8 winner. It's an absolute shame for the game of football, but it happens. Number 4, Tampa Bay Bucks. Tom Brady sure didn't look like himself in that loss to the Saints. 2 interceptions and lost a fumble on a strip sack. Sean Payton seems to be Tom Brady's kryptonite. That's 4 losses to Sean Payton. But something tells me that the Bucks are going to be okay. Only 2 teams in the history of football has ever gone through the regular season undefeated. So teams are going to lose. Number 3, Los Angeles Rams. Cooper Kupp continues to ball the fuck out. 7 more catches for 115 more yards. Stafford continues to roll and the Rams continue to dominate. Up 38-0 at the end of 3 quarters against the Texans. The Rams take Stafford out of the game, let their foot off the fucking gas, and still walk away with a massive win. And what kind of reward did they get for this win? Well, they went and got themselves Von Miller. For fuck's sake. Number 2, Green Bay Packers. Missing 2 offensive starters. Missing their 3 best wide receivers. Losing their starting tight end mid-game. Aaron fucking Rodgers shows the world why he's Aaron fucking Rodgers, and grinds out an impressive win over the undefeated Cardinals. That ridiculous Week 1 loss to the Saints is a distant memory right now. Number 1, Dallas Cowboys. Wow, is really all I need to say. So while I was walking around on Sunday night trick-or-treating with my kids, basically every house that we went to had people sitting in their driveway with a TV set up watching the Cowboys game. Right as the game starts, I hear from a neighbor that Dak is inactive. So I'm thinking, oh shit, all right, fine, one loss isn't going to hurt them. And then I didn't feel bad about missing the game, especially when I see Cooper Rush underneath center. Motherfucker! Cooper Rush! Cooper Rush! But I have to say, the most impressive thing about this team is the defense. We all know that the Cowboys have an impressive offense. It's obvious. But this defense is playing ridiculous. I have never seen this version of Randy Gregory. I know Trayvon Diggs is like the story on defense in Dallas, but it's Michael Parsons that is the most impressive player on the field. He's the defensive MVP for the Cowboys right now. This team looks scary. Minus some really stupid penalties at the end of the game, the Cowboys roll to 6-1 and number 1 in my rankings. How about them Cowboys?